What's going on? Welcome back to the channel for another video. So today we're taking a look at something that I think a lot of photographers are going to find pretty interesting. Now this is the new GODOX V1 Mid, and yes, GODOX has apparently decided that the V1 needed to go on a diet because this is basically the V1 but smaller, lighter, slightly less powerful, and somehow it has a touchscreen. Because apparently buttons were just getting too complicated. So the big question is the V1 Mid actually better for photographers? Or did GODOX just make the V1 smaller because they could? Let's find out. Alright, so the V1 Mid weighs about 416 grams. The regular V1 about 536 grams. And the V1 Pro about 590 grams. So you're saving roughly 22% of the weight compared to the V1. And honestly, that sounds like one of those specifications you read on a website and think,
okay, cool.
Until you put the flash on your camera and you carry it around for 6 hours and suddenly 22% sounds pretty damn good. Because if you've ever photographed an event all night, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Your camera starts feeling heavy, your lens starts feeling heavy, your flash starts feeling heavy, your arms start questioning every decision that led you to become a photographer in the first place. And by the end of the night, you're basically holding a small gym membership. So shaving some extra weight off the top of your camera actually matters, especially if you're doing events like weddings, concerts, or anything where you're walking around with this thing attached to your camera for hours. That's really where I think the V1 Mid starts making sense. Now let's talk about the thing that's probably gonna get the most attention, and that's the touchscreen. And I'm gonna be honest, I actually really like it, but there is a catch. Because touchscreens are fantastic until you accidentally touch them, and then they're fantastic at changing things that you didn't want changed. You know, because apparently your forehead is now part of the lighting crew. That's one of the biggest downsides to having a touchscreen on the flash. You're moving around, you're shooting, you're bouncing the flash, you're grabbing the camera, you're putting it down, and eventually, well, you're gonna touch the screen. And congratulations, you just changed your flash power. So thankfully, GODOX gives you a lock function, and I'd highly recommend using it. But once you start actually using the touchscreen, I think you're gonna understand why it's there. It's just easier to navigate. Everything is just right in front of you. You don't have to remember which tiny button does what. And if you're shooting in the dark, well, it gets even better. Because those little buttons on the back of the flash, they're not exactly giant billboards. And if you're wearing glasses, or you're using reading glasses, or if you're like me and your eyes have decided that focusing on tiny text is no longer part of the package, touchscreen is a pretty big improvement. You can actually see what you're doing. You can tap the power setting, change it, lock it, and move on. Now that, to me, is good design. Now let's talk about the price. The V1 Mid comes in at around $179, and the regular V1 is roughly $20 more. So we're not talking about some massive price difference here. You're not saving $100. You're not getting a flash for half the price. It's about 20 bucks. And honestly, I wouldn't make the buying decision based on that 20 bucks. I'd make it based on size and weight because that's where the real difference is. Now, the V1 Mid is rated at about 55 watt seconds. The regular V1, about 76 watt seconds. So yeah, you're giving up some power, roughly half a stop or so. And I know that some of you are thinking,
Half a stop?
calm down, put the calculator away. Half a stop isn't nothing, but it's also not the end of civilization. In the real world, there aren't that many situations where you're gonna say, well, everything was perfect, but if I only had exactly half a stop more. You know, if you're shooting direct flash, you're probably gonna be fine. If you're bouncing flash, you're probably gonna be fine. And if you're working in a relatively controlled environment, you're probably gonna be fine. Now, where that extra power starts becoming useful is when you're trying to overpower a really bright environment, like outside. Or you're trying to bounce from a high ceiling using larger modifiers, or you're simply just trying to squeeze every last bit of light out of the flash. That's where the V1 has an advantage. But for general photography, I don't think the difference is nearly dramatic as the numbers make it sound. Recycle time is also slightly slower. The V1 is around 1.5 seconds, where the V1 Mid is around 1.7, so 0.2 of a second. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm not standing there with a stopwatch going, come on, GODOX. You're gonna notice that. And here's something interesting. You're looking at roughly 650 full power flashes from the V1 Mid versus around 480 from the V1. And that makes sense because the V1 is pushing more power. So it's going to use more battery. Now, the Mid is giving you slightly less power, but you get more shots out of it. So that's the trade-off, and I actually like that trade-off. The V1 Mid also has a slightly wider zoom range. It starts at around 24mm, while the V1 starts at around 28. Now, it doesn't sound like a huge difference, and honestly, it's not. But if you're using wider lenses, it's just nice to have. And that's kind of the theme with this flash. Nothing about the V1 Mid is screaming, "I'm dramatically better than the V1." Instead, it's making a bunch of small compromises to become easier to carry, and that's important. You've also got USB-C charging that's built into the battery. And this, I love. I really love. You don't need to drag around proprietary charging cradles. You can simply just plug the battery into a USB-C. That's it. That's one less piece of crap that you have to remember to bring with you. And there's also a USB connection on the flash itself for firmware updates, because apparently even our flashes need software updates now. At some point we're going to have to update firmware on our coffee makers. The V1 Mid also works with the same round head modifiers designed for the V1. And that's important because the round head is one of the things that I really like about this style of flash. You get so much more flexibility with things like domes, bounce accessories, and other modifiers. So if you've already invested in the GODOX ecosystem, you're not starting over. That's a big deal. Now let's get into the menu system, and this is where I think the touchscreen really shines. You can swipe down to get access to things like modeling light, beep settings, high-speed sync, optical triggering, multi-flash, and other settings. And there's one setting in here that I think you should know about immediately, and I mentioned it earlier. That's the lock. Seriously, use it. Because once you start using this flash, you're gonna discover something. Touchscreens are wonderful until your giant forehead decides to adjust your flash power. So swipe down, hit the lock, and you're good. Now to unlock it, just press and hold this button. It's an extra step, yeah, I know, but I'd rather spend 2 seconds unlocking my flash than shoot an entire sequence wondering why the exposure suddenly looks like garbage. And if you're wondering what happened, well, it's probably the forehead. Now, the V1 Mid can also act as a transmitter or a receiver. So if you're already invested in the GODOX ecosystem, this thing plays nicely with the rest of your gear. You can use it on camera or control other GODOX flashes remotely. And that's really where a system like this becomes powerful, because you're not just buying a flash, you're buying into an ecosystem. You can start with one flash, then add another, then a transmitter, then another light, then a softbox, and suddenly, well, you spend enough money to make your accountant nervous. But at least your lighting looks great. So, who should actually buy the V1 Mid? First off, any event photographer. I think it's really interesting. You know, if you're carrying a camera and a flash around for hours, that weight savings is gonna matter. If you're a portrait photographer, especially someone who uses flash as fill, well, you've got more than enough power for a lot of situations. If you're shooting direct flash, even more so. But if you're constantly trying to overpower bright sunlight, shooting through large modifiers or bouncing, huge distances, then I'd probably stick with the V1 or the V1 Pro, because that's where that extra power becomes useful. Is the GODOX V1 Mid worth it? I think it is, but I don't think it's necessarily the flash for everyone. If you're already using a V1, I wouldn't necessarily run out and replace it. The V1 is still a fantastic flash, but if you're buying your first serious roundhead flash, or you're building a lightweight event kit, or you're simply tired of carrying a brick on top of your camera all night, well, that's when the V1 Mid makes a lot of sense. And honestly, I think the touchscreen might be my favorite part. It's easier to use, it's easier to navigate, it's faster to adjust. Just for the love of everything holy, turn on the lock, because otherwise your forehead is going to become your lighting assistant that you didn't need. So, what are your thoughts on this? Is that extra half stop of light worth the extra weight? Or are you like me and think the touchscreen and smaller build nullifies the extra power? Curious on what you think. Remember to smash that like button, subscribe if you're new, and click the bell for more videos. Also, visit my website, j.greshamphotos.com, to grab my Lightroom presets, as well as my 2026 photo print collection. And coming soon, I'm gonna have some cinematic LUTs as well as some video packs, so look out for that. And that's gonna do it for this one. So until next time, get out and shoot. And I will see you in the next video. Later.